That behind me is the pyramid entrance to the Louvre. Yes, I am in Paris again. It's my third time in Paris, and there's something I've always wanted to do, and that is find the filming locations to the movie Charade, the Parisian filming locations. Some of it was shot in the Alps, some of it was shot in California, but every time when I get back to California, I always kind of kick myself that I didn't go to find the filming locations to Charade. Well, I'm back. Let's go find them. This is our first stop, the street that leads to the home of Audrey Hepburn's character, Regina Lampert. After 53 years, this street has hardly changed. The door is the same door as in the film, only with a darker coat of paint. Amazing! Audrey and her friends pull up right here. Now this place is some kind of museum or something. It's called Scam. Sounds a little sketchy to me. Just behind the house and off camera is the beautiful Parc Monceau. It was completed in 1779 by designer Louis Carmontel, and it is seen in other great films like Gigi. When Audrey, aka Regina Lampert, gets inside of her place, she finds out that everything's been sold from top to bottom. And that's what starts this crime caper off. Well, besides her husband being thrown from a train and killed. No, that was not a cat in heat. That was yours truly singing the charade theme. Recognize this place? This is the Theatre Gagnon. Hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat close. This is the theater that Cary Grant meets Audrey Hepburn at. He says, I thought I was gonna meet you down the street, but you came over here because you heard the kids laughing. And they're watching the Punch and Judy show, and amazingly, this theater has been in existence since 1818, and they still show, besides other marionette shows, they show the Punch and Judy show. In the film, the kids are sitting on benches, but now I guess you have to stand or sit in the dirt. Cary and Audrey are standing in the back as the police commissioner is slowly walking up the pathway. And besides a lot more foliage and leaves, it's very much the same as it was decades ago. Pretty awesome that this little part of Paris has survived all these years. Destination is right here. This is Hotel Maxime. Now in the movie Charade, it was called the Hotel Saint-Jacques. Now the outside of this hotel was used in 3 major scenes. The first one, Audrey runs out of the hotel and sends a decoy cab on its way. She runs right out this very door, followed by Cary Grant. But surprise, she's hiding by this metal fence. So Audrey ducks down right about here. Now the apartment complex right here is quite different than in 1963. It's been remodeled, probably rebuilt. When Charade was filmed, this fence here, this iron gate, had spikes right here. But as you can see, it's been replaced with this smoother version. The second time the hotel exterior was used is one of my favorite scenes. Let's analyze it. Cary walks out this door. Audrey is spying from this window. as Cary takes a right and walks down the sidewalk. About where that printer is, a cleaning lady airs out her dirty dust rag right in Cary Grant's face. All the ironwork around the windows is original. Now Cary continues down the sidewalk, being tracked by Audrey. He stops to admire a painting, and you can see this large building in the background. That sends Audrey back, and she quickly sits down next to a tourist who gets very excited. They're sitting right about here. Cary continues on, Audrey pursues, but the tourist wants her to stay. Audrey finally has to tell him, "Leave me alone, you little pervert." I'm paraphrasing here. Cary gets caught between the light, sending Audrey back to the tourist. "Oh, hey there, old friend. So good to see you again." So they come right back over here. Cary finally makes it across the street. Audrey ditches the tourist, and Cary hops on some sort of bus and rides right up this street. Great scene. We'll come back to the third time this exterior was used later on. Now this hotel was only used for the exterior shots. The interior was shot on a soundstage. Now, if you look on TripAdvisor, there is another St. Jacques in Paris where a lot of people say, "I'm staying at the hotel from Charade." There's a lot of reviews like that, but I think that might be a myth, so I'm gonna go to that hotel and see if I can figure it out. Alright, I'm at the hotel, or some people say that the interior of Charade was shot. I'm gonna go inside to see if I can figure this out, and hopefully they speak a little English, because this could be very tricky. Okay, I just got done talking to somebody who works here at St. Jacques Hotel. He was super nice. He knew a little bit of English, and so I asked him about Charade, and he took me to this kind of back room, which leads to some kind of dining area where they had a few pictures of Charade. Now the odd part is the only pictures of Charade they have are back of Hotel Maxime, where I was just at. You'd think they would have an interior shot. So I asked him if they filmed any of the interior in here, and he said yes. He said that it's been remodeled completely. The elevator looks completely different, and he said that the staircase is the same staircase from the movie. Now, I have some issues with this. If the hotel's claim to fame was that it was a hotel used in a Hollywood movie, wouldn't you have pictures on the wall of the areas seen in the film? But there are no interior pictures on their walls. And why would you get rid of a beautiful caged elevator for a modern one? Also, the staircase designs are way more ornate now than they were in the film. Was that all remodeled? And wouldn't the camera in this scene be going through the floor? Hey! Trying to get to the bottom of this, I wrote director Stanley. Now, besides being a great director, having a pretty cool name, he's still alive and kicking. But unfortunately, he didn't write back. But hey, when you're 92, you don't gotta write anybody back. So I wrote Thomas Chalimsky. He played little Jean-Louis in the film. He was only 6 at the time, but now he's a very prominent position in the United States. Yes, Jean-Louis did very good for himself. And he wrote back. I said, "Do you remember, was the hotel used for the interior scenes of the film a real hotel, or was it on a soundstage?" And he wrote back, "Most of this was on a stage. I am sure here..." His handwriting's hard to read. He really is a doctor. Now he said, "Most of this was on a soundstage. I am sure there was a real hotel for the outside, but not sure where it was." I'm pretty sure that verifies that all the hotel interiors were on a soundstage. My only other theory is that the owners of the current Hotel St. Jacques owned the other building when Charade was being filmed. Maybe that's why it was called Hotel St. Jacques in the movie, and why the current hotel has pictures of the other hotel's exterior. That's a good theory. Now, it was shot on 2 different sound stages, one of them in Hollywood and one of them about an hour outside of Paris. They used stage 28 in Hollywood, and which has now been demolished. So if you ever go to Universal Studios Hollywood, right next to where the Transformer ride is now, there used to be stage 28. Now, at stage 28, they had the old Phantom of the Opera sets, which were still in there when it was going to be destroyed. And luckily, they decided to save the Phantom of the Opera sets. So those are in storage somewhere. But all the history, all the other movies that were shot there, just like Charade, are now only in people's memories. This is La Halle. This once was the old marketplace, but now it's one big mall. And yeah? Oh, okay. I was just told that I cannot videotape the mall area, probably because there is a metro right underneath it. The Chalet La Halle metro station is right underneath it, and with, you know, terrorism right now, they probably don't want anybody filming this area, so I completely understand. But that's okay, because our next filming location is just around the corner. Most of this area and the marketplace was bulldozed in the late 70s, but a few of the buildings in the background remain. You can see the circular roof of this building and the 2 other buildings next to it. Unfortunately, I can't get to the exact angle because off to my right, everything is under construction. Right about here would have been where they turned to their left and looked at the meat hanging. All the pigs and other kind of meat hanging right there. Our next stop, Audrey follows Cary to the American Express building. Just last year, if you look at Google Maps, it was still owned by American Express, but now it's been sold. I know this was definitely filmed on location because if you look through the window, in this scene, you can see the small columns that lead up the pathway to the Opera House. Unfortunately, it's closed right now. There's some kind of sign here. I think Nespresso might have bought the American Express building. I tried to go in through the chocolatier Lindt store, but all they gave me was free chocolate. Not bad. And check this out. The gold railing that leads downstairs is still there. Man, I would love to get inside and walk down there and see what it looks like now. But very cool that it hasn't been remodeled after all these years. Oh, and the rooftop where Cary Grant fights Scobie, that was on a soundstage. The old iron bridge remains, and here's the pathway they walk down, where today people like to run and wave their arms up and down. Now, unfortunately today, there's a boat kind of blocking our view here, but they continue walking down till about right here. As they walk down, Audrey gets an ice cream, then she accidentally gets the ice cream on Cary's suit, and Cary throws her ice cream in the river? Wait, back up. I never noticed that before. Yeah, I think he just threw her ice cream in the river. Weird. As they're walking, they talk about another movie. They talk about Gene Kelly and Leslie Caron dancing down here in the movie An American in Paris. Another one of my favorite films. Now, that was shot on a very elaborate set back in Culver City at MGM. Then Audrey talks about the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Cary's like, what? And he turns around. Well, who put that there? Whoa, Quasimodo's really going crazy this morning. Seriously, I'm trying to film here. This behind me is the UNESCO building. In the movie, it's called the UNESCO building. I don't want to film too much around here. This place has a lot of security around it, and I really don't want to draw any undue attention to myself. Now, in real life, the UNESCO is a part of the United Nations, or is an arm of the European United Nations, so a lot of big deals go down here. This is where Audrey Hepburn works. She is a translator. With all the heightened security in Paris recently, I did not want to spend too much time filming in front of the UNESCO. I really just wanted to get a couple shots and leave. But the nice part is, the UNESCO is right near the Eiffel Tower. Now this is something you do not see in the movie, but I couldn't help but stop and take a look at it again. Our next location is this park just off the Champs-Élysées. This is the same park where the little marionette theater is that we looked at earlier. Besides no longer having a merry-go-round, the park really hasn't changed much. Check out this building behind Cary Grant. At first glance, it looks like the building is gone, but it's just covered by overgrown trees and foliage. Those cool windows with the arch at the top are still there on closer examination. And the fountain and the building in the background are still nearly the same, as if frozen in time. Next, Cary Grant follows Tex to the stamp market. Can you believe that the stamp market still exists? Not nearly as big, but amazing that in 2016, this is still a thing. Lots and lots of collector stamps are found here. This place has been in existence since 1887. Now back then, stamp collecting was all the craze and very popular. It was really pushing the envelope. Today, it isn't nearly as popular, but very cool that this history is still alive in Paris. And I had to buy myself some stamps from the stamp market. Then Tex has an epiphany while looking at the stamps. It takes off running. Cary follows, pushing a guy out of the way, and takes his cab. The buildings in the background, they look pretty similar. The awning's a little bit different, a different color. I'm pretty sure they added a prop taxi sign. I don't think that was really here. Lots of ugly barriers in the way today. Okay, let's go back to Hotel Maxime for the third time the exterior was used. Audrey runs out of the hotel, being chased by Cary Grant. She runs to the end of the street where they placed a prop metro sign. In actuality, there is no metro here. It looks like she goes downhill, but all she does is she turns to her right and looks down. Same with Cary, he turns right and looks down. Au revoir, fake metro sign to nowhere. We're actually going to have to hop on a train and go across town to get to where they end up. Which loosely translated means if you try to jump on the metro at the last second, you will turn into a rabbit. Trust me, I know French. Okay, so once Cary and Audrey turn right and look down, the next scene is right here. A lot has changed in this and most metro stations since 1963. Now you buy your ticket at a kiosk and go through these metal gates. But the general layout is still the same. Audrey runs down, there's no ticket taker here to take your ticket anymore. Only posters of Mel Gibson in Bloodfather? Never heard of it, must have only been big in France. Okay, as Cary Grant has trouble getting past the ticket taker, Audrey continues on straight to the far platform. Besides the signage, very little has changed. This is so awesome. I wasn't able to look at any of this, online. There is no more green divider gate, but those are the steps that Audrey goes down. Now remember, they were walking down the Saint Jacques metro station, so they added a large prop sign to the marine platform. And as you can see, over the years they added barrier gates so no one falls off the platform here. Now Cary Grant pops out at the other side of the platform. He took the first left, not realizing that Audrey went to the far platform. Oopsie! So Cary has to run all the way around and barely makes it on the train. They're on a red train, which back in the 60s was a first-class train, but now there is no more class system on the metro. Vive la France! So after they arrive at the next stop, Cary chases Audrey through the station exit, and they use the exact same station, the Marine Metro station. They just replaced the prop Saint Jacques metro signage with a sortie or exit sign. And Audrey pops out at the next location, which is the Palais Royal Metro. This piece of modern art here was not here in 1963. It's called Night of the Nightwalkers or something like that. It's been here since the year 2000, I believe it was, and it really has changed the outside of this metro station. Audrey runs up the stairs right here, takes a ride, and is followed by Cary Grant. So let's run over there just like Audrey. Let's run. We're running like Audrey. We're running like Audrey. Audrey comes this way. She goes right down all of these columns, past those people, and comes through here. Look at all these tourists. Yes, the beautiful Palais Royal courtyard sure attracts a lot of tourists. These white and black cylinder modern art installations have been here for a number of years. People seem to really love taking pictures on them. Audrey's running. You're gonna see her run past these two pillars on the right. She went past those. And about right here, you hear Red stop. That man's Carson Dial. Dun dun dun. Plot twist. Cary Grant and Walter Matthau each duck behind a column. You can see these two marks in the movie. They're still here. Walter Matthau's face is right here. And he yells, "Don't trust him, Mrs. Lampert, he's lying." Cary Grant is 4 columns down from where Walter Matthau is. So Walter Matthau's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cary Grant is standing behind this column. Now they added 2 fake columns in here to give it a little bit more depth. I'm not exactly sure where they were put in, but if Cary Grant was right here, I believe 2 columns they added in were right in this empty part. After Cary Grant fires his gun at Walter Matthau and misses, not a very good shot. Bang, 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 bang! Audrey Hepburn takes off running. She's actually running down this column right here. And she doesn't run all the way down to the end of the street. She turns coming up. She makes a right turn right here. Also in the film, you're going to see a lot of these lamps. These are all the original lamps. Walter Matthau is also going to come running down this way and make a right turn right here. Now this is where it gets really tricky, and I'm not exactly sure where they filmed the next couple of scenes. But this is what I think happened. After they make the right turn and start heading down this way, the camera is looking from this angle. Now on the left, right here, I believe used to be a fence. And this is where they come running down. So there was a wooden fence here at the time, and check out these doors. Here is that door. So they flipped the camera around and the 2 actors ran down this way. And go inside this door. Cary can't get in. Poor guy can't catch a break. And runs down this way and down the other side of the building. All the way to this door. And success, it's unlocked. Notice the thin windows on this door. This is the only door on the building like this. This is the door Cary Grant opens. Now when he enters, he's on a soundstage, probably in Hollywood. Now, when Walter Matthau walks inside the theater, we're not on a soundstage, we're in a real theater, but it's not the Comedy Francois Theater, which is at the Palais Royal, which resembles a Target store right now. No, they used a different theater for the interiors for some reason. Let's go check out which theater it was. Alright, we made it. Well, here it is. The Marionette Theater. Yes, that's the big white building you see in this scene. A lot of the movie was filmed at this park. Blast, it's locked. Now, unfortunately, the theater Marigny or Magny, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, has been under renovation for quite a while. In fact, on their website it says reopening in 2015, I think it was, maybe it was 14. Anyways, it's overdue to reopen. But if you go on their website, they have a high resolution 360 picture of the inside, And trust me, this is the theater used for the climatic scene in Charade. Check it out. Look at the gold squares on this wall. And compare it to the Marganese website. Look at the circular ornate work with the little angels. Exactly the same. Now, some of the seating has been remodeled over the years, but I can say without a doubt that this was the theater used for the interiors. Okay, I'm trying to film casually here. I'm at Avenue Gabriel and Place de la Concorde. Now, just behind me is the American Embassy, and it's heavily guarded. There's a couple guys with machine guns. You're not allowed to film over there or near there or in there. But the last scene of Charade, they're actually walking inside the gates, and from inside the gates, behind them, you can see the obelisk. You can also see a statue of some kind of king on a throne. This is a kind of similar view. If you see off to Cary Grant's left, you'll see the obelisk. You'll see the statue. But I have to really get about 100 yards behind myself and a little more to the left. But I'm not allowed to go over there. There's only one location I couldn't find, and it's this church, the place where they filmed the funeral scene of Regina Lampert's husband. Was it a real church? Was it shot on a soundstage? If anybody knows, please leave a comment down below. That wraps up the Parisian filming locations of Charade. I hope you had a good time. I hope you had fun. I did. If you ever have any kind of passion project out there, anything weird, anything kind of fun you want to try and do, go ahead and try it. All it takes is a start. I'm Stanley. Au revoir.